Each morning, you promise yourself that tonight is going to be different, only to find that you're pouring that same glass of wine as you're making dinner or after you've put the kids to bed. Morning you is optimistic. She is hopeful. She has plans. She has goals. But as the day wears on, you just find yourself feeling very overwhelmed and you're drained. And that nightly glass of wine seems like the best option to help you unwind. However, in the morning, you wake up to that same nagging thought: why can't I stop? Today, I'm sharing 3 simple strategies that are going to help you quit wanting wine every evening, even if you feel like the habit is totally ingrained in your evening routine, cooking dinner, getting kids to bed, or just trying to relax at the end of an evening. These tips are going to help you feel more confident and in control so that you can wake up in the morning feeling so good about yourself and your choices. Hi, I'm Christie, and I help amazing women like you redefine their relationship with alcohol so that they can take alcohol or leave it with peace. Now, before we get into those tips that I promised, I want to tell you something really important. Nighttime you is not a villain. She's not out to get you, and she's not even trying to sabotage your efforts. She's just carrying the weight of the day, the decisions, the emotions, and the stress. And honestly, I think you'll probably agree with me when I say she does deserve some love and care. What's happening is that your brain thinks that the wine or alcohol of your choice is meeting a need. But here's the great news: it does not have to stay that way. When you learn what you really need in those moments, everything starts to shift. And that's what you are going to be learning today. Tip number 1 is to pause and prepare before the evening ever gets started. Now, think back to a time when you went to the grocery store and you didn't have your list. Either you didn't make a list because you were pretty sure you would remember everything you needed, or you just simply forgot it. Oh, and by the way, you are super, super hungry. So you go to the grocery store, and as you go down the aisles, everything looks so good. So you end up getting a whole bunch of stuff that you don't even need. And after you get home and start unloading, you realize that you forgot several items that you actually did need. Now, this is the feeling that some of my clients have when it comes to dinner prep. Without a plan in place, alcohol just seems like the easiest, most tempting option. But just like having a list when you go to the grocery store changes how you shop, having a plan in place before the evening begins. That's my cat. What are you doing? Get down. Bring it. Oh, sorry, Rizzo. I have 2 black cats. Oh, and now the dog. And now the dog. Hi. Hi, Cooper. But just like having a shopping list makes it easier to shop, having a plan for what you are going to drink or what you are going to do in the evening will make things run smoother and help keep you on track with your goals. And suddenly, it's not about the alcohol anymore. It's about creating an evening that you actually enjoy. So if you don't want to end up with a bunch of stuff you don't need and you want your needs to get met, then planning and preparing can make all the difference. Planning does not have to be hard. It just takes a few simple changes that are going to set you up for success. One of those things that you can do is just making sure that you have a non-alcoholic beverage on hand that you are going to look forward to and enjoy. So whether that's sparkling water, an herbal tea, whether you like to get super creative and make mocktails, maybe you want to have a non-alcoholic wine or beer, or try some of the spirits or adaptogen type drinks. I don't know. See what it is that is going to really satisfy you and have you filling that need. Speaking of need, I really want you to also ask yourself these 2 questions before the evening ever gets started. The questions are: what am I feeling? and what do I need? Because just like when you go shopping and you don't have a list, you end up with a bunch of stuff you don't need. Alcohol is one of those things you don't really need it. It just seems really easy and simple at the time. And what's happening is you're not getting your actual needs met. Just like when you go shopping without a list, you may forget those things that you do need. So, just having this plan in place, asking yourself those two questions are going to be so beneficial, and they will absolutely transform your evening. Tip number 2 is creating a transition. Now, think of your day like a snow globe. It's been shaken up all day long with meetings and errands and responsibilities. Maybe you've had to handle a lot of big emotions or make a lot of decisions, leaving that glitter just swirling around. Now, if you move from the chaos of the day straight into nighttime, you still have that glitter swirling around. You still have the residue of the day on you. Now, what if you just put that snow globe down and just allowed that glitter to settle to the bottom? What if instead of reaching for that glass of wine, you took 5 minutes to pause, pray, breathe, journal, or step outside? Doing this is like letting that glitter in the snow globe settle. When you do that, everything becomes much more clear and you feel more prepared to transition into the next part of your day. That moment of calm, even if it's just for a few minutes, can be so powerful. I invite you to try it out, and in the comments, let me know what you think. My final tip is to build an evening that you are going to look forward to. Now, a client of mine was feeling really stuck when it came to her evenings. She even said that she didn't really look forward to evening time at all. The highlight was her ability to pour herself a glass of wine as she was making dinner, and then maybe follow it up with another one or two. This was really weighing on her though. She just didn't want to do this anymore. It wasn't who she was or what she wanted to do. And she started realizing that even if she didn't have a drinking problem, it was really starting to be a problem for her. So we talked about it, and I invited her to imagine an evening that she would love, what she would want to feel, what she would want to think about, what she would want to do, and create that evening so that when evening time did roll around, she would know how to cultivate that in real life. So, how I did that was I asked her to think about her evenings through the lens of her five senses. And I will invite you to do the same thing. So, I invited her to close her eyes and think about what kind of evening she would love, what kind of evening she would look forward to that did not involve alcohol. And I asked her to first imagine what she would see in this perfect evening. Would it be the sunset as she was looking out the window and making dinner? What were those things? The next thing I asked her to visualize is what she would hear. What are those sounds that she would be hearing throughout the evening, not just at dinner time, but through the entire evening until she went to bed? The third thing is smell. What would you like to smell? Would you like to smell dinner cooking or maybe a candle burning? What are some things that could help create not just that evening that you love and feel peaceful and comfortable in, but also delineate a transition from day to night, just like we talked about in our last tip? The fourth thing is, what would you touch? Would it be a soft blanket as you curl up in your favorite reading nook and open a book? Would it be petting your dog? Would it be the fresh air on your face as you go for a walk? The fifth thing would be, what would you like to taste? Would you like sparkling water and herbal tea? Would you like to have a mocktail or non-alcoholic wine. Think about, and those are all beverages, it could be a lot of other things, but what are some of those things that you would like? Would it be a glass of tea and maybe a piece of dark chocolate? Would that feel like an evening treat? So I just invited her to plan her evening thinking about all the different steps. And then when it came time to actually planning and preparing for the evening, step two, she already had kind of a blueprint for that. And I'm happy to report that it worked. She's been able to cultivate evenings that she absolutely loves. And she doesn't have to have alcohol as part of the equation. Now, she didn't give up alcohol 100%. She still likes to have it on occasion, but she knew that having it during the evening times, especially as she was making dinner, was a big trigger for her. And so she cut that out altogether. And that's something you might want to think about too. Now, if you found something that works for you to replace the wine in the evenings, drop it in the comments below. It may inspire someone else or give them a great idea that they had never thought about. The main thing I want you to know is that you don't have to stay stuck. And if the way that you are drinking is bothering you have the power to change it, and I'm here to help you. So if you want more tips on how to reduce or eliminate alcohol, check out this video next.